So for this tutorial I'm going to concentrate on the selection tools, which is your black and your white arrow, and also how you might edit a shape using your stroke panel. Okay, so I'm going to choose a rectangle here. A shortcut to a rectangle is the letter M on your keyboard, and that will activate the rectangle tool. So for example, if I click and drag to make a rectangle, I've got my black and my white arrow here. My black arrow, which is your selection tool, will allow you, if I click on it, to move my shape up and down and around. Okay. It'll also allow me to hover over the corners and drag out, or hover over the sides till I get this kind of a straight arrow and drag upwards or downwards or whatever the case may be, and move things around. Okay. The white arrow is very specific in that it deals with specific points, which are these, or paths, which is like your stroke almost, but it's a stroke from, we'll say, A to B. So for example, if I wanted to move this point somewhere, I would, with my white arrow selected, I would double click and then I would be able to drag that in whichever direction I want to go in. And again, the same thing here. Because I've activated it once, I don't need to double click every other time. It's just when you start using the tool, like so. So there I have my white arrow allowing me to edit the points. It will also allow you to edit a path. So if I drag, you can see that it's not just moving, it's not moving the shape, it's actually moving that particular path. Okay, so that's what your white arrow will do. Another thing that we're going to look at for this tutorial is your stroke panel. So this shape has a stroke of 3 points. I can see that here, so I can kind of increase it if I want 5 points, we'll say, or decrease it. And when I open up my stroke panel, okay, I have a number of options available to me. Okay, so I can change the weight again here. I can make it bigger or smaller. You might notice here there's a little bit of a bevel on my shape. You can see here. That's not by default. I just had that set. So this is where it changed to bevel. So by default, yours probably looks like this, a metre, or you can have the rounded, like so. So you're looking at the corners or the bevel, rounded, metre. Okay. And then you've got the align stroke panel. My stroke is aligned to the center, but if I choose the align to the inside, this is what I'll get. And if I choose to align to the outside, this is what I'll get. Center, like so. I also have the option to use the dashed lines. Okay. Probably by default your gap is at 0. Sorry, it wouldn't be at 0, it'd be at 12 as well. If that's at 12, that would mean that you'd have an even dash the whole way around. But let's just say you change this to 4. That means you'll have a bigger dash than a gap. You have something like so. Or if you wanted to change your dash to 6, that means in general it'll be a much kind of a smaller dash. The next shape that you will create then by default will have the same properties. So if you don't want those, you have to go back to stroke and maybe turn off the dashed line. You might want to bring this back to 1 if that's the case. And all other settings seem okay. Okay, thank you very much.